Hi, welcome to my podcast, The Happy Hacker with Ambition. Just turning up the volume, so sorry about that. Today is Saturday, and originally I did a recording on Thursday, like I try and do every week, to say what we're going to be up to and what we're doing. But it's been a different week this week. I actually had Thursday off and didn't realise, so I got up, got ready for work, and then realised I hadn't actually got a lot to do. So, and then the news editor of the day messaged me and went, "Oh, you're not actually working today?" And I thought, great, fantastic. Anyway, so today is Saturday. It's a beautiful day. Sun is shining, the sky is blue, and I'm quite late out doing the horses, which actually I've got into a bad habit of being quite late. But whilst they're out at the moment, all the time, you kind of have to make the most of it, because the winter will be with us soon. Sorry about the noise. As you can imagine, I am poo picking. Indy is out with the girls at the moment with her muzzle on, because the battery was getting low on the electric fencing in her pen. And so what she was doing was her usual style of just running at it. And she only does that when the battery goes down. So I took both batteries home last night and worked out that my rechargeable one that I keep, well, they're both rechargeable obviously, but the bigger battery that I have, I've probably had that for about 8 years. So it's probably time to think about replacing it. It's a leisure battery, so they keep the charge. But also, I have to be honest, and they're designed to be charged up again and do that, so they do last longer. But it was only, I think, last week that I charged it up anyway. So don't really want Indy getting out, because we've had the wet weather, cold weather, wet weather, dry weather, and now sunshine. And it's October, but it's only early October. You always get that push of grass, and it's also when you kind of see some other episodes of laminitis, and I just don't want, having come so far with my little Indy pony, I just don't want her to suffer again. So she's out. She was out last night, and I have to say, when I came down to do the girls this morning, she's quite tired. So she's been stuffing all night, but she has got her lovely muzzle on. And she's looking good. She was probably, I think we felt that she was a little bit too skinny. And now I'm quite happy with her weight. She looks good to go into the winter. So I'm happy for her to lose a little bit of weight. I'm happy that I'm going to clip her. And I'm not going to try and keep weight on the horses, because they're meant to lose weight in the winter. So I'm going to make sure everybody's got enough to eat. We've got good quality hay, and they will be fine. Yesterday was on Friday. I had lovely Steph from the vets come and sedate Tia for me, so that she could have her teeth done by Carrie Massingham. Now, when Steph arrived, Indy had just got out, and I was just like, oh, I'll go and get Indy. And bless her, who knows a vet that comes and says, I'll help you get your pony in. So, and what was really brilliant about that was that Indy demonstrated that she was absolutely sound. She did the most beautiful little trot up and back into her pen, like, I don't know why Mummy says I'm so bad, because look at me, I'm in my pen. And it was really good. And she looked at me and she went, sound as a pound. And I went, absolutely, which is great. Funny old saying that though, isn't it? But anyway, so we're really pleased with that. And then we waited for Carrie to come. She did the usual, Steph did the usual checks, heartbeat and everything. And obviously she'd seen her the week before. Was it last week we had the injections? The week before, when we had all the injections. So they're yearly jabs. So everybody is up to date with their yearly jabs. So that was quite good. Carrie came, and poor old Carrie had a bit of a week this week. Somebody had driven into her car, and so that wasn't great. I think that was Monday or Tuesday that happened. So she said she had a bad week. Anyway, Tia, being an older horse and being 27, and also having previous issues with her teeth because of breeding, and I don't know the type of pony she was really, I suppose, because she was a buy one get one free that World Horse Welfare had when they took in this pony that was her mum. The teeth aren't brilliant, but what we came up with, Carrie said last year, was the best thing to do was we would sedate her, do her teeth properly 100% every year, just do it yearly, so that she was nice and comfortable. But if she was losing weight, we would call Carrie out and she would come and do her teeth again. So that was the plan, and I had been looking forward to it because Tia has a pocket where she has, like most horses as they get older, like us really, has a broken tooth slightly in there, and when she eats it gets all stuck in her mouth. Now there's certain things that I can do, I can flush some of it out, but you know, doing anything like that is quite difficult with your horses, especially if you don't know what you're doing. So I leave it to the professionals. And because we had her sedated, Carrie could do a really good job. And she has. She went between all her teeth, she flushed them all out, she balanced them as best as she could, she took off any of the sharp edges. And then we had a chat about her tooth. And to be fair, she is a 27-year-old pony, and this is when it gets to be really quite a difficult time as a pony owner. Tia has always been a paddock pony. That is her job, and she's very, very good at it. She is the boss of the field. The other two do as they are told, and that's it. However, Tia does not like to be put in a trailer and moved. She has been in the past when I bought her here, but then she started to get a bit worried about being in the trailer, and because I would bring them home for a month or two in the summer. And the last time that we did that, Tia panicked when the other horse was taken off the trailer because he was the bigger horse, and nearly turned herself inside out in the trailer. And do you know, I just don't think it's worth doing. So what I did then afterwards was I walked them in hand, Eek and Tia home. Blueberry! Sorry, lost the dog. Walked them in hand home. But then, you know, as I say, she's a bit older now, and I know a lot of people have got horses that aren't, that, you know, are in their 30s and still going out strong and all that kind of thing. But it's horses for courses, and she's always been a paddock pony. She's not used to doing anything like that, and she doesn't like being separated from the girls. She's quite happy to let Eek go out for a ride, or go out, or Indy go out for a ride, or them go out and leave her in the field, because she's always got other horses with her, but she's always the first one to whinny when you come back with that horse. And but she's not somebody that you can lead on your own away from it. She's just not. And it always said that she, on her adoption papers that I've got, it says that she forms a very strong bond with the other horses very quickly, and it's very difficult, which is why when I got Eek and Tia, they hadn't met each other, but by the time they'd come back by the time I trailed them home from, oh good, I can see Blueberry, from Somerset, they've got a strong bond. And if you see them now, they're always together, they're always close by. So it was a discussion about that, and what I would do and whether I would have the tooth extracted. And it's all very complicated because, you know, horses' teeth are so big and they go into the jaw, and if there is a fracture all the way up and they start trying to take tooth out, then you've got all that other issue as well. And so I had a very long phone conversation with my very good friend Piglet, and we were talking about it, and I said it's kind of like when you've got a horse and the vet looks at you and it goes, are you going to Newmarket if it's got colic? And you look at them and you go, no. Because with my old horse, Joey, he was 23 years old and he colicked and he wasn't getting any better. That was 3 times in a row. And my vet turned around to me and he said, I need to know, Steph, are we going to take this horse to Newmarket? And I looked him straight in the face and I went, I've never known a horse of his age come home. And he just said, right decision. I understand your decision. It's the right decision. And it was the right decision because Joey colicked again before that vet had even got halfway down our drive. And unfortunately, that was the end of my beautiful Joey. But he was 23 years old and he was an absolute superstar. So I kind of think it's that kind of decision. Am I prepared to put my pony, to drug her up, to put her into a trailer, to take her to have some work done on her teeth, which may or may not go according to plan? And at the moment, I asked the question, which I suppose a lot of horse owners would do. Well, I hope you would. I said, is she in any pain? And I looked at both of them and, Steph had gone by this time because Tia was coming round. And I looked at Carrie and I said, is she any pain? She went, well, she will be. And I went, well, she's not lost any weight. And what kind of pain threshold are we talking about? And what kind of pain are we talking about? And she went, horses mask it. And I know horses mask pain. But I also sat there and thought, if I'd rung, and I'm going to do this just to clarify that I am doing the right thing. If I had rung my friend that is at World Horse Welfare and I said, what would you do? I know what they would do. They would put the horse down if the horse deteriorated. And I actually think that is, I don't want to put her through any distress. I don't want to put her in any harm. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to disagree with me over this. As long as she's eating, she's the first one to canter up to me in the morning for her breakfast. She's very much the boss still. And if she wasn't, and not eating and grazing and having fun and snoozing in the sunshine, I wouldn't even hesitate. And I just think that you will know when the time is right. And it's difficult, and I just think as horse owners or as anybody who has any kind of pets, this is the kind of thing that you have to go through as those animals get older. And obviously there's no insurance available for you with a horse that's over that age. You can have a basic insurance, which is what I do, which I've got from the charity now, which is covered for if she had an accident in the field. That would help her with that kind of thing, and obviously a third-party public liability insurance that she's got. But you can't insure her for vet's fees. So something that is quoted to you at being £1,000 to start off with, I don't know anybody whose vet bill comes in at the price that it is. And it was a bit like with lovely Indy Pony. I spoke to my contact at World Horse Welfare and I asked for an honest opinion of what I should do, because I was so worried about what the situation was. And they said to me, if there was any rotation in the pedal bone, that the best option for that horse would have been to put her down. Well, I was very lucky because there was no rotation in the pedal bone. Even though it was very dramatic what happened to her, there was no rotation, and that made a massive difference. So, it's all very down here. She's wandering around, looking very cute, aren't you, Indy? Yeah, very good. So that is my plan with Tia just to keep an eye on her, just to see how she's feeling. She'll let me know. She looks very happy today, very comfortable. She's grazing away with Eek, who I'm about to go and catch and go out for a ride. And I just think I need to keep her happy and comfortable, and that's what I'm going to do. So you may disagree with this, you may not. It may be something that I get hate letters over, but I will take advice and take it from there. So it's great to be able to talk to people that you know are of a similar mindset. I spoke to Laura on text about it, because obviously I haven't been able to see Laura this week, and really won't be able to see her until next week now. So, you know, I value their opinion. I value Laura's opinion a lot, and I value Piglet's opinion, because, you know, she's had horses for as long as I have, and I've known her for a very long time. So it's people that I trust and aren't just knee-jerk reactions. So I think that's really important as well. So that's what I've done there. We're looking at doing some dressage with Indy on the 17th, I think it is, of October, taking her back out again. On my last podcast, I said about me going to have some hypnotherapy to try it, which was my husband's idea, which was a very good idea. But I'm not going to tell him it was such a good idea. But anyway, I went along. I had a discussion with the, I don't know, what do you call them, hypnotherapist? Or what is he? He got loads of letters after his name and loads of stuff on the wall about his qualifications and everything, so it was very interesting. But I didn't know how he was actually going to treat me, because I didn't know if he knew anything about horses, and as it turns out, I kind of knew him, which just shows what small world it is where I live. He used to live in the village that we keep the horses in, and I had met his wife, and they'd literally just recently sold the house and moved away, and she had horses. Now, she never said that to me when I met her, but that's interesting. They've moved away, and they've now got their own property with land, and they were moving their horses. So he kind of understood about horses. So it was quite interesting. I was a bit sceptical, because I suppose that's in my nature to be like that, and took me through it. I didn't tell Laura I was going, and I'd ridden the day before and had a little lesson with her, and Indy and I were doing okay, and then I came and I had a lesson with her the next day after I'd been, and I just felt really much more positive about everything, and really couldn't get into my head why I was so traumatised over one little issue. And he said to me, you remember in pictures, so you relive it every time. And he gave me a technique to do so that I could get over it, basically. And, well, there's proof's in the pudding. I went the next day, as I said, had a lesson with Laura, and she looked at me, she went, the pair of you look so much happier, so much more relaxed. And we were really relaxed, and it was great, and I was just really happy to be back on it. And I feel that now. I feel like it was a blip, which you get in horses, and I feel like we're happy. We'll start again. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to get tested again with her, because that's what happens with horses. And I will rise to the challenge, I hope. And I can't, you know, Laura's so patient with me. And she said to me, she went, why did you go? And I said, because I keep relying on you all the time to put me back together again when I have a confidence crisis. And I just said, it must get boring as a mate to do that. She went, we're friends, which I just think is lovely. and that just shows the kind of person that she is. So I was really pleased with that. So the idea is I still got to, what I'm doing at the moment is just tidying up. The girls got into the other side where the hay is and pulled. Now, if they saw a tarpaulin on the floor, I am damn sure that they would all freak out at it. But when it's got the hay on it, underneath it, they were quite happy to pull it off with their teeth, because I saw them do it, and then go and get their hay out, which, you just sit there and you go, but you've got hay outside, you've got all the grass is lovely, why do you want the hay inside the barn? But anyway, so they've done that. So what I'm doing at the moment is just trying to tidy it up, and I've got to tidy up my summer muck heap so that it has a chance of rotting down for next year. So I've got to tidy that all up, and because, as I said, we move the whole shebang, the whole stable block and everything gets moved every year to twice a year, and there's a thin line at the moment between sorting everything out and not bringing any more stuff down and trying to keep it for when we move, and getting it ready. Indy got her new rug, her swish rug, which is absolutely gorgeous and was much in need earlier on this week when we had all that rain. It just rained and rained and rained and rained and rained, and she hadn't got any shelter in her field at all. It's very exposed, that part of the field that she's in. So we went and got that. I'm really, really impressed with it. The quality, the denier of the rug, and it's a zero rug. So obviously, you know, it was continuous rain for 48 hours. I'm sure it would leak a bit, but it actually survived brilliantly. And I also bought her a 50-gram liner, and this is one of those rugs that you can put liners in, and I bought her the 50-gram because once I start clipping her, she does feel a cold, and she's a bit of a wimpy pony, so that's why she loves coming in. So I think I will have that on her when we need it. But obviously, day like today, you can hear the birds singing, absolutely glorious. Nobody needs any kind of rugs. So what I'm actually going to do is, gosh, everything's untidy. So because Indy was out last night, they do have a little bit of breakfast, but all they're having are a couple of these naff treats in a bowl. So they all think they've got some food, but the only one who's actually getting any food is Tia. And she is currently on blue chip, and she will be going on to Dodson, is it Dodson Horror I'm putting on? Can't remember now. Dodson Horror are my go-to brand generally, because I used to work with, I came across Dr. Teresa Holland, who was their nutritionist at the time. She now works at Sussex University, I believe, as a nutritionist lecturer, equine nutritionist, and very interesting person. So actually I think it's Alan and Page, which is our local brand, local company. Alan Page are always ahead of the game with their ideas. They always seem to come up with, they were the first ones that took out all sorts of things. They always think about the environment. They think about how their bags are sold. They just are a little bit ahead of the curve, really. They're not a massively well-known brand. I think Piggy March, I think she's Dawson Horror actually now, but I don't know any big riders actually are supported by them now. Not that it makes any difference, because, you know, excuse me, but they are local to us, and I think it's quite nice to support a local brand. Laura has used their Old Faithfuls on Hector, and he just looks flipping amazing at the moment. Really impressed with him. So she suggested I try it on Tia for the winter, and that's what I'm going to do. He's standing in the sunshine at the moment. Spike is, I thought Spike was on his own. Seems to be in with the others. Spike is still lame, unfortunately, a little bit lame. We don't know what he's done. He had a big old hooly around the other day, and I have a feeling Laura thinks that he might have hurt himself when he was doing, I mean, constantly they were just hooling about like lunatics. And you know what it's like, do something in the field. Jessie came out. We must be his favourite clients, honestly. We're quite needy. And Jessie came out and had a look, couldn't find anything. They did tooth testing, there's no digital pulse, there's nothing. So we tried that. I'm looking for my tack, you can understand. I'm in my car, and because we hadn't got any fuel, because we've had the fuel issue, and again, that is going to have an influence on whether or not we can go to any shows, because I hadn't got any fuel, so I'd had to sort my tack out and leave it in a certain, because normally my tack all comes home with me, and it's just safer than it's at home. But actually what I tend to do is a lot of my tack's always in my car. All the time I wasn't able to ride Indy, which was a good, 10 months probably. I kept her bridle in my car because I wanted to make sure that I could ride her, and I was going to ride her, and that was me being, I will ride her again. I know how you kind of do that a bit when you're horsey anyway. So hopefully we will be able to go out and compete. I'm going to take Indy. I'm not going to compete Eek, which is what I've said over and over again. She doesn't like it, she doesn't enjoy it. She's perfectly capable of doing it, but why would you make somebody do something they don't want to do? She just doesn't want to do it. So I won't push her. I think, to be perfectly honest, she'd quite like to be retired, but she's still got some great moves in her, and once you get her ridden and out, she's very good. It's just getting her. Sorry, I'm just tipping out a hay thing that's got a bucket that's got a load of hay in it, and it's got wet in the rain, and it's pretty yucky. So I've just done that. So those are my plans. It's a bit rambling, isn't it? It's a bit of a ramble. The Happy Hacker going out with lots of ambition is coming back soon. That's me. I will be back. I've got 1 week of work left, and then I'm on holiday before I leave at the end of the month, and start new adventures, I think. Where I keep my bedding, there's a tarpaulin over the top of it, and it's full of water from the rain the other day, and it's a great attraction to mozzies, so I'm just emptying it out and getting that out of the way. So much to do. So why people, if you go for a ride at a riding school, you're so lucky. I was listening to the Horse and Hound podcast. What a surprise, love it, recommend it, please listen to it, really good fun. And they were talking to Emile Fiore, who is a dressage rider, and Emile learnt to ride at a riding school and has never forgotten that. And he is a great supporter of riding schools and of other riders, and he did really well in the nationals the other week, and he was talking to them about his horses and his plans, and how he got started. It's a really interesting piece. And then you've got Hoys this week, which is up in Birmingham, and that's all going on. So that's all the showing world and show jumping, but mainly showing. and it's a long old show. Anybody that works at that, which I've done a couple of times, because they're open at 9 o'clock in the morning and they finish about 11 o'clock at night. It's a long old show for everybody, but it's always good fun. So there's that. I've lost one of my dogs. I lost Bluebird. I don't know where she's gone. So I suppose I should really wind this up, actually, shouldn't I? It's probably far too long. Anyway, I am the Happy Hacker. Please like and share. Don't forget it is available on YouTube as well. So you can leave me your comments there. I'd be really interested, especially the ones about the older horses. Oh, you can see the puppy. Come on, Booby. Wrong way. I can see, and so I can comment and answer your comments. I'd really like to. Please let me know what you think, what you'd like to hear about, and I will do a story about introducing you to all my ponies soon. Okay, thanks for listening.